Hi everyone, here today. Gonna review the Mafate 4 from Hoka. So let's get started. One thing I do like about the shoe is that it has the big padding, seems to have a bigger toe box. The 11.5 seemed really big though. I don't know if I can keep these. These are my initial thoughts of the shoe. As I pull out the sole, and I do a sole test, I'll show you that. I mean, this shoe should fit me pretty well. On the sole test, I'll push it down. So I mean, it's little room, but I mean, it should fit me. And I may point out, see my little Morton's toe? I do have Morton's toe. So I do have a different foot, so it's not the standard foot. But the shoe actually fits bigger than that, I feel. A lot of space. I did try the 11. I ran in the 11. I think the 11 right here feels like a little bit tight. The 11.5 feels loose right here, but really loose back here, so it kind of slips. The 11, I don't get slippage here, but then it gets snug up here. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this shoe. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but it's definitely very heavy. It felt very stiff. This arm mat stuff that they use, it's very stiff. Let's weigh it, and then I can get a good measurement on the weight for you all to see, and then I'll turn the camera around so you can see that. So we're at 15 ounces on that shoe. So that's the left shoe. Let's weigh the right shoe. So on the right shoe we have 15.4 ounces. I think the left shoe was the same, wasn't it? 15.2 ounces. So a little bit of discrepancy in there. On these shoes, I noticed, like I said, on the 11 that I was getting a little rubbing right here. So I sized up to back to the 11.5, like I said, but I'm getting kind of some heel slippage here, and they're really huge. I mean, these are size 11 shoes right here. I mean, they're full size bigger. And usually I wear 11.5 in Hokas, the Cliftons, all the rest of them. But in these ones, I could probably opt for the 11, not the 11.5. And I tried both shoes. I did try the 11, and now these are the 11.5. So I may have to go back to the 11, which is, or just not even use these shoes at all, because this is really stiff, this arm mat stuff. It's really stiff, and it really is a heavy shoe. Trail, I took it on some well-groomed trail. Not exactly what they add on this. They did change the insoles though. The insoles are different. They're like a thicker, different material, thicker insole. They did add the wider toe box on these, but I don't know. I could probably go for the 11, like I said. 11.5 just feels really big. Stiff, not too much rubbing on the 11.5. I'm not sure how the 11 would feel on long runs, but I've only ran in these for about 3 miles a piece. 3 miles this morning, 3 miles yesterday. So these are just my initial thoughts of the shoe. I haven't took them on anything longer than that. I don't know if I'm going to keep these. That's why I'm doing this initial kind of review. It did seem pretty stable compared to all the other Hokas. It's a pretty wide sole on the bottom there, and right here is pretty wide as well. I mean, maybe that's what's giving it the length. It definitely feels like a 12 though, and this is 11.5. But you may find it differently. Everyone has different feet. I did feel this arch support on this one right here. I did feel that pretty good, but I don't know if you have high arch. I don't really have that big of an arch, so when I crimp down on it, I could really feel it. And to me, I don't really need that, so I don't know. We'll see if I'll go back to 11.5. I might send, or 11, I'm sorry. I might go back to 11 I might send these back. But that's my initial response. I mean, heavy, stiff. The arm mat seems to be very loose and nice. Just, I mean, pressure test, just pushing it. Once you get in it, it really hits like a hard point when you press down on it. I had a knee problem. I'm not sure if that's just from the runs I've been doing lately on the trail on Mount Sanitas, or it's just from this shoe. And all of a sudden it popped up after wearing this shoe. Laces come with these little kind of nylon, different laces. Tongue is kind of just a regular tongue. Nothing fancy. I mean, maybe there's just a lot of space between her. Maybe they just made it real long or something. It just feels really like a long shoe. So I might want to go back to the 11s if I decide to get this shoe again. I mean, but it's stable. The bottoms seem to grip kind of well. I mean, but this is concrete and well-groomed trail that I ran on. I didn't take them to the mountains yet. And so, but I do get that kind of noise, which to me it sounds like it's sticking to the concrete, which is a good sign for trail runners if they're looking for this shoe. But like I said, it's pretty wide. Toe box is pretty cool because it's wider. But I mean, someone had a review where they said that it rubbed them really raw right here, but they went on. I could definitely feel the rocker more on the 11.5. Maybe it's in the wrong place. Maybe I do need the 11 because I feel the rocker. I don't really. The response, I mean, I know people, you know, want to see more of sizing, and the sizing is a big deal on this. I mean, the sizing, I mean, if you wear, you know, we usually wear an 11, lately I've been going 11.5, especially in Hokas, because there's not enough room with these new models they've been coming out with, the Clifton, the Odyssey. This one, I definitely can probably revert back down to the 11 just because there's a lot of room. The shoe, like I said, fits really long. Definitely a stiff shoe, very heavy. I don't know if I like the cushioning, the new arm mat. It's definitely thick. It's a totally different shoe than the other Mafates from the past. Way different from the Speed. I've run in the Speed, the original Mafate. The 2 and the 3 gave me blisters, so I don't see myself getting any blisters in this. I do wear toe socks though, so you might get a blister. You may get some rubbing where that guy got his rubbing right here. I felt like I was going to get that in the 11. That's why I got the 11.5 again. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep this shoe. I don't know if it's something that, you know, really fits me well. It's very awkward on my feet. But those are my initial thoughts of the Hoka Mafate 4. Hope it was informative.